Hi, welcome to Autistic Ramblings of a Toonarchist, or A.R.T for short. It's like night where I am right now, so if I sound a little tired, then that's why. But I promised that I would get to making this series, and I do not want to break a promise, especially since it is Autism Acceptance Month, and this is something that I had been considering doing for the month because I am on the spectrum and I want a chance to yap about my special interests. So without further ado, let's get into the topic of this art video. Today we will be discussing Undertale, the indie game made by Toby Fox that took the internet by storm. Similar to all my current interests, I was never really into Undertale at first because I was too young when it first came out. But it's been actually quite recent since I got into Undertale, and I actually really enjoy it. The basic plot of the game is there was this war between the humans and monsters, and the humans won, and the monsters were driven underground. They basically have an entire society down there. And you play as this genderless child who isn't the first human to fall into the underground, aka the society where all the monsters are trapped. But one of the things I like the most about this game is that, unlike other RPGs where you have to fight the monsters, you can actually befriend the monsters in this game, which is cool because almost all the monsters in the game are friendly, except for the ones that intentionally want to hurt you, but you can become their friend too, and I like that. That's cute. Another notable thing about this game is that there are 3 different routes. There's the pacifist route, aka the route where you don't kill any of the monsters and you befriend them. There's the neutral route, which is where you kill some of the monsters and spare some of them. And then there's the no mercy route, which is where you, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. And personally, I prefer the pacifist route because I like all the characters and I don't want to hurt them. They're nice, they're friendly, I like them. Perfect segue into the next thing I want to talk about when it comes to this game, the characters. Out of the 8 monsters that you encounter in the game, aka the ones that matter the most to the story, they're all really diverse and interesting in their own unique way. Hopefully that made sense. Now, before I mention the main characters that you meet on your little journey through the underground, there's also the sort of antagonist, but not really, of the game, Flowey the Flower, who was essentially just an edgy child that was traumatized who got turned into a flower. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played the game yet, I guess. But yeah, the monsters that you meet on your little adventure that actually matter. First is Goat Mom Toriel. She likes kids and taking care of kids and ultimately just being a pretty good mother figure. She also has guilt that her son died, and she doesn't know this, but the soul of her son is trapped inside of, like I said before, Flowey. I completely forgot to mention what soul is. So, your soul is basically, it's this little colored heart in the game, and gameplay-wise, you're able to move around with it and dodge attacks and whatnot. However, in the game's lore, your soul is like what gives you power, and your soul can be powered by determination. Because in this game, determination, for at least you, the player, determination is, of course, the strength to continue to go on, even when it's hard. But in the game, determination is also kind of like life force, kind of like Ki in Dragon Ball. I don't know, I'm trying my best to explain it in the best way I can. I'm tired. But yeah, Toriel is really nice, and I was kind of sad to leave her in the ruins, but I know that if I didn't, then I wouldn't have been able to gone on a little adventure, and the game basically wouldn't have started. After you encounter Toriel, you make it to probably the best location in the game with some of the best characters in the game. Skeleton Brothers, Sans, and Papyrus, which will have their own entire section in this video because I love them a lot. It's basically the same thing with Toriel. You can either spare them or, off them. But once again, since I'm a good person, I decided not to do that. And since Sans and Papyrus have an entire section dedicated to them, I will move on to the next characters that you encounter on your journey. You encounter Undine, this lesbian fish lady that is the captain of the Royal Guard, and she really wants you dead. However, I did not want to hurt her, so I ended up, since she's a fish lady, and I was in Hotlands, I ended up giving her some water, and she just kind of walked off. I don't know, to be honest, I haven't finished the game. I'm just going off of what I already know, but from what I've seen, Undine seems cool for if she's not trying to hurt you. After that, you meet the royal scientist Alphys, who is a weeb, and she also has a crush on Undine. And like I said, I haven't finished the game yet, so I'm basically going off of what I already know. So after Alphys, you meet Asgore, the king of all monsters, and Toriel's former husband. Once again, with the other monsters except Alphys, since you don't really battle with her. You can talk to Asgore and convince him, hey, you shouldn't kill me, violence isn't the way, that's a no-no. And then I'm pretty sure once you're done with him, you encounter Flowey again, and depending on what you do, you can either, beat him in a boss fight, or you can spare him after the boss fight, and then that's when he reveals his true self, Asriel, aka the prince and Toriel's not dead kid. Hopefully that makes sense. I understand that was a horrible summary of the game, but it's 10:26 where I am, and I need to go to sleep soon. But what I enjoy most about the game is the fact that it shows that even in such an awful and cruel world, you can still be kind, and that can still make an impact on a person's life. It shows that violence always isn't the way, and again, I think that's a really good message, especially in the time that we live in right now with all these wars going on. Okay, now that we got the story and the characters out of the way, let's talk about the fandom. Whoop-de-doo. So I myself haven't interacted much with the Undertale fandom, and a part of me doesn't really plan on it, but hey, I want to interact with other people that like Undertale. And I hear that the Undertale / the Deltarune fandom has died down a bit since its heyday with screaming fangirls over Sans for some reason. But still, it's this fandom's history that makes me not want to interact with them. But then again, that is coming from the same person who is a brony, so maybe I'll give it a chance. And now, finally, I get to yap about the Skeleton Brothers, Sans and Papyrus. I'll start with the more popular of the brothers first, Sans. He's a laid-back skeleton who loves jokes and also has a lot of jobs. He follows you in various places through the underground because he made a promise with Toriel to keep the humans that fall down there safe, and honestly, I think that's really cute. It makes me see Sans as a dad or an uncle figure, and I really like that. He's also just the best older brother in the world because for as dorky and silly and goofy as Papyrus is, he still manages to call his brother cool. And the fact that he thinks that that's cool makes me really happy because I'll get to Papyrus in a bit, but I see a lot of myself in Papyrus. You know, just really goofy, kind of silly, out there, secretly lonely, having a very specific special interest in a certain thing. For him, it's pasta. I don't know, Papyrus is just such a silly goober. He's a capable goober, but he's a goober nonetheless. If anything, I feel like my favorite between the two brothers is probably Papyrus. And a lot of people headcanon both Papyrus and Sans as having both ADHD and being autistic, and yeah, I kind of see it, especially for Papyrus. Well, that's really all I have to say about Undertale. I hope you enjoyed this late night ramble session. Episode 2 of Autistic Ramblings of a Toonarchist will be about Sonic the Hedgehog, and that should be coming soon because I want to get these out as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.